Andy comes and asks you to captain the team, what does it mean to you to captain Ireland?
It's obviously a huge honour, yeah, it's very cool. Opportunity. Very proud moment for me and my family to captain my country this week, so probably still hasn't sunk in, but I'm really excited for the weekend.
When Johnny is out, how important is it for you and the other senior guys to his big shoes to fill on the leadership front? So is that something you're all conscious of?
Yeah, big time. Well, I think we've got a good group there, a good core group of in terms of leadership group that have been there for the last couple of years that work well together. But obviously, yeah, he's big shoes to fill. He'll be travelling over with us on the weekend, so it'll be great to have him around. Yeah, absolutely. But I'll be able to lean on guys like Gary and Hendy, Peter Mahoney as well. So hopefully we'll be able to work well together.
Just a question on Italy. They've been so good, really, so far. Dangerous. What are you expecting from them this weekend?
They're at home, so I think they'll play with plenty of emotion. I think they're obviously very much improved team, particularly their attack probably. They seem to be playing with like a lot of ambition. You saw them even against England playing, deep inside their own 22 metre. So they want to play. They've got some, genuinely world-class players there. Obviously Caputo sticks out. Garbisi could be back playing at 10. He obviously makes a big difference as well. So, very dangerous side with ball in hand, but also strong up front as well. Good set piece. You saw they drove the English pack back a few times at scrum time, which is no easy task. So, I think it'll be a big challenge for us this week.
James, how would you describe the sort of captain you were?
I don't really know. Maybe you'd have to ask some of the other guys, but I suppose just try to lead by example. Probably the boring answer, but for me, it's just hopefully leading with actions this weekend. Obviously, being named captain is a huge honour, but I've still got to bring the best version of myself. I've still got to bring my best game. So maybe quiet, focus, and focus on my game as well is as important.
Would you have looked at Johnny Sexton and how he captains and take anything from the way he does things?
Yeah, but probably the leading by actions thing is the big one. The way he sets standards, obviously in games, but also every day. How competitive he is, on the training pitch, and the difference he makes, when he's training versus when he's not. So, probably just looking at his competitive instinct and the way he leads with his actions would be the main thing.
Anytime when you talk to any of the players, they talk about, I suppose, the growth in the team and the strength and depth in the squad. And when you lose someone like Johnny Sexton through the years, it's always a massive blow. But do you feel that now you're able to, I suppose, handle it a bit more as a team? That you feel, more ready or stronger as a whole?
Yeah, well, I think that's one of the things that Faz has been brilliant at is building the mentality that it's not 15 or 23. It's all about the group. So I think the squad depth is one thing that's really come on the last couple of years. Obviously, maybe Ty Furlong is one example of a big player for us that's injured, but how well Finley Bealham's gone, and he's just an example. So I think if there's an injury or if somebody pulls out late, this kind of no excuse mentality that's been built in the group. Everybody's got to be ready to play and to fill that void. I think that's kind of just the mentality of the team at the moment.
James, what did you learn specifically the other week when David Irwin came in and spoke to the team on the Monday night prior to the France game?
Probably a little bit around just the sacrifices that people like him made during the troubles, during those eras of kind of sectarian violence in the 70s and 80s, and the sacrifices that men like him made to put on the green jersey. So it was pretty special hearing it from him and how much it meant to him. So it was a great opportunity for us to listen as a group.
Did you know much about David's past, or was that new to you at the time?
No, I knew a little bit about it just because I'd read about it. but it was still fascinating to hear him talk about it.
James, just what does it do for your confidence when you do get asked to captain this side?
Yeah, you know, it fills you with a bit of confidence, right? Yeah. But as I said, there's still an onus on me to bring my best game this weekend. But yeah, a huge honour. So obviously, you know, a bit of a confidence boost off the back of it as well.
What do you feel you can take from your previous stints as captain?
Not really sure, to be honest. Like, I mean, just making sure that you instill that belief in the group early in the week, that we can go over and do a proper job, and get a result that we're looking for. So making sure that the squad believe, the team believe, and are nice and confident going into the weekend.
James, since the France game, obviously winning that game has put you in a very good position in the tournament. Is there much talk about the title and the Grand Slam within the camp?
No, not really, to be honest. No, we didn't talk about any Grand Slams even before the competition started. Look, it's the same. I know it's a boring answer, but it's the same this week. We're just focused on Italy. You know, we've had 2 weeks now since the French game to perform, to get ready for this game. So the expectation for us is that this has to be our best performance so far. You know, we're in round 3 now, and as I said, with 2 weeks since the French game, we've had a lot of time to prepare together. So for us, it's just getting the performance right for us this weekend.
Jason, which will you lean on Johnny this week? You mentioned he's travelling with the team. Will you be kind of having a quiet word with him here and there, getting advice on things?
Yeah, I will. I already spoke to him earlier in the week, and you know, got his voice on a couple of things. But yeah, it's great that he's travelling and to have him over there. Yeah, I'm sure we'll catch up before the game.
Did you learn anything from your previous experience as captain in Ireland? You seem to keep mentioning that it's important to play your own game, right? Was it kind of something that kind of took over you a little bit, that experience of captain in Ireland, and lost your focus a little bit on your own game?
I don't think so, because the first time I captained Ireland against England, the first thing that Faz told me was to focus on myself, not to let this be a weight on my shoulders, to delegate if I needed, but to very much focus on my own game. So I don't know if it's that, but I think just I haven't done it in a while now, so for me it's just reinforcing that understanding this week that just like everybody else, I've got to get my stuff right.
James, is there much difference between this camp and the atmosphere in it than there was 5 years ago when you were in the middle of a winning campaign? Is there a difference in confidence? Is it a different type of confidence, or what do you feel is different about the squad?
One thing I mentioned earlier is maybe the depth has come on. Positionally, I think it's a stronger probably squad altogether. In terms of other differences, no, like there's a lot of similarities as well. Like both teams I think we're unbelievably good on detail and understanding, game understanding, and as well as that, like, you know, in 2018 and in the moment, it's 2 groups that are definitely quite close and tight knit, you know, on and off the pitch. But maybe the main difference would be the squad depth. I think is stronger now, and as I said, when we've got injuries and stuff, you've got guys that are ready to play well.
Just on the timing of the speech that just got from Brian and David before, was it something that some of the squad needed to hear, or did you remind that there's a handful of guys who wouldn't have grown up in Ireland, who wouldn't have had as much reading on it as yourself and the others? Was it just the time was right? Was that why it was decided, or what was the reason behind it?
It was probably thinking about coming in, about having that kind of conversation for a while. But yeah, it was great because it gave, you know, guys like Mac and even Bundy, you know, Rob Herring and some of the other guys that maybe grew up elsewhere, like an understanding of the jersey, the journey that it's been on, and the strength of it. But even the guys that maybe are Irish as well, gave them a deeper understanding of it too. So it was good for everybody.
Mac was just saying how powerful it was when yourself and Keeper spoke to the group that night. What message were you trying to get across, and what did you take from that part?
Don't want to get too deep now in the conference, but it was just about obviously the history of the jersey and the Irish rugby team. A little bit about Ireland's call, and Ireland's call, for example, people seem to give out about it a bit, but they probably don't understand the bigger picture of it. The uniqueness of it, the uniqueness of the Irish rugby team, because it's the only song that recognises the fact that the Irish rugby team makes up the whole island, north and south. And then it's just understanding how kind of sport binds people together, and how the last almost 150 years, the Irish rugby team is one of the only things that has persisted, in unity and solidarity on this island. So understanding the strength of it, the sacrifices that people made to wear the green jersey, and the privilege as well to wear it.